Hello and welcome to this short supplement for week 3 character setup homework. In this tutorial we will be building an IK arm setup and we'll be adding in some additional NURBS curves to control that IK. So let's get started. The first thing we'll need to do is build some bones. So let's go to the joint option right here, which you can find under the animation and skeleton, and then joint tool. Click that, and then I'm going to start right here at the top of the arm of this mesh that I've built. So click, and I like to build bones by building the entire length of the bone and then adding in all the additional joints that I'll be needing for whatever it is, arm, jaw, hand, leg, whatever. So I'm going to click right here, and then I'm going to click at the palm of the hand. So now I've got one long bone right here, which runs the length of the arm. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Insert, and you can find that here, and you can find it under Insert Joint. So I'm going to click on the top of the arm and drag the insert joint tool to about the middle of the elbow, and we're going to call that one good. So we're going to move this joint now into the position it should be in. There we go. Alright, so we're going to need to put a little bend in this straight little line we have here so that the IK that we put in can solve for the elbow bend. There we go. We've now put in the IK, but I've also messed up the orientations of those joints. So I'm going to go to Freeze Transformation, Joint Orient, Apply. That's just going to zero out all these. Then I'm going to go to Orient Joint, XYZ, Y, Orient Children, Apply. It's going to point these two at each other, and it's going to point that one at that one. But this one will not have any orientation, as you can see. So these two match up. This one does not. It does not like to play nice with the others. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to None, and then Apply. And then, lo and behold, it's a group player. Alright, now that we have all of our joints orientated in the proper axes, we're going to insert more joints. Insert Joint Tool. We're going to insert a forearm and a wrist. There we go. And now everything is properly aligned. I'm going to throw this into a more easily viewable layer. There we go. Bright yellow. Alright, so we are now ready to throw in an IK. So I have this handy little toolbar, which I just tend to use for brevity's sake. You can find most of these tools just by, I don't know, maybe a Google search. So we're going to click on the IK, and we're going to use a RP solver. There's also an SK solver, but I'm not going to cover that one. So click on the top of the arm, pass the elbow onto the forearm. That will create an IK handle here that will solve between these three joints. So we can move that right now. There you go. You got a little elbow. Alright, but we want this handle to be at the end of the wrist so it's not solving just to the forearm. So how we do that is, let me bring the hypergraph over here. We're going to click the effector of this IK right here. And then we're going to turn off my mesh so I can snap properly. And we're going to change the pivot of the effector to the wrist. And it's as easy as that. Alright, let's move that back over here. So now, essentially our IK arm setup is good to go. We just need to add in some control curves so animators aren't messing with the IK. That would be bad. Very bad for business. So I'm just going to make some simple little, slightly shoddy control curves. I'm gonna delete the history and freeze the transformations, and then by pressing Control G, I'm gonna throw it into a group. Let's bring that back over here. And then I'm gonna click on this group. I'm gonna delete the history. There we go. And then we're going to click on the group and click on this wrist. Then we're going to press P to parent. And if you look down here in the hypergraph, this wrist is now the parent of the group and the control curve. Alrighty, so now we're going to zero out all these, and that will pop our control curve in the wrong place. Strange. Why did that happen? Well, let's look into that. Let's go back a little bit. Oh, would you look at that? I didn't start it out on the origin. Silly me. Let's try that again, shall we? Delete history on everything. Always a great idea in Maya. So we're going to click on the group. Click on the wrist. Press P. Still not moving. Strange. Alright, well, let's zero out these orientations on the group, and voila! There is our curve. With those orientations in the way we want them now, we're just going to drag this curve out of the bone group, and it's all good to go. It is now orientated in the same orientation as the bones. So if I move it, yeah, it moves out peachy. So what we're going to do now is throw this IK handle underneath the NURBS curve so we can control the IK solver. There we go, all peachy. Zero that out. But I'm needy and I want this wrist to orientate with the control curve for the hand, if there was a hand there. Alright, so the way we would do that is we would click on the NURBS curve, then we would click on the wrist, shift left click, go up here to Constraints, and we're going to go to Orient, make sure that our maintain offset is on, make sure that all of our constraints are selected, and then click Apply. Now, if we rotate this, look, our wrist rotates with it. That's so pretty. Alright. So now we need an elbow control, because as of now, we cannot actually control which way our elbow is rotating. That's just completely in the hands of the IK solver. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another NURBS circle. I'm going to just throw this one right there by vertice snapping it, and drag it out, freeze its transformations, center its pivot. Alright, and now we're going to click on it, and then shift left click on the IK handle, and then we're going to go to Constraint and Pull Vector. And let's see what happens. I can't really tell. Well, let's move this back so there's a little bit of a bend. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, look at that. Alright, so that is how you make a simple IK arm setup. Thanks for watching.